On January 17th, there was a general grant workshop at Fresno City College, which was full, and it was recorded and it's posted to their website. And then there's 3 upcoming grant-specific information sessions. And the first one is January 27th from 1 to 3 at CMAC. That is going to be recorded and posted to their website as well. There are going to be 2 additional sessions that are presenting similar information, grant-specific. One is February 17th at United Way, 1 to 3, and the third will be on March 9th from 1 to 3 at Woodward Park Library. And then I also wanted to mention that right now there's a call open for panelists who are interested in reviewing applications.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Does the Parks Master Plan Subcommittee have an update it would like to provide to the Commission?
I'll provide a short update. Our subcommittee received an update that we've reviewed chapters 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which were chapters included in the amendment. And then soon, actually next Monday, we'll gather for the entire revamp.
Commissioner on our panel, Commissioner Soto, so I'll give her the floor to give her time to tell us a little bit about herself and welcome her to the Commission.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Christina Soto. I just took my oath. I live in West Fresno. I helped campaign for Measure P, so it's very exciting to kind of see it all come to fruition and be on this committee with you all now. I'm a parent of 4. My kids attend Computech and Edison High School, UC Merced. They're all very active and involved in sports, recreational programming, and I'm just very excited to hopefully provide a connection with my community, as well as helping to sort of bring that vision of Measure P and as it was intended to serve the communities that are most in need. Thank you all.
Thank you. Welcome. Commissioner Ward?
Thank you. I wanted to highlight that the independent audit of the 2023 Measure P financial report was made public on December 14th, and it was attached to the agenda for the City Council meeting on that day. And it has an expenditure plan attached to it, which goes through the very specific parts of Measure P and how funding was expended. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Commissioner Kurcharski?
No comments at this time?
Thank you. Commissioner Cummings?
No updates at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Miller?
Also nothing at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Singh?
Nothing at this time as well.
Just want to give a shout out to our Parks Department for all the activities they've been having. I've been seeing a lot of activity on social media. Looking forward to seeing how the senior dance turns out. I know that's going to be something that's fun. But just want to give a shout out to you for keeping the community engaged and keeping the community aware of what the Parks Department is doing. It's good to see that. We will now move on to City Administration and Park Staff reports and comments. Does anyone from the administration have any reports or comments for the Commission?
Thank you, TJ Miller, Assistant City Manager, and I just want to thank Christine on behalf of administration for joining the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Commission and we are confident that your experience will lend well to this group. Welcome.
And Chair McCoy, Aaron Aguirre, Parks Director. Just 4 quick announcements highlighting some upcoming activities this week. This coming Saturday, January 27th at 10 a.m. at Vinland Park will be our Vinland Park Futsal and Pickleball Court Final Design Meeting. So we invite the community to come out. It will be an open house format, so no formal presentation, but come out, look at the designs, and give us your input for that final design. Later that same day, that afternoon at 2 o'clock, Rotary East will have the same format to go through that pickleball final design. So again, encourage that. That is all on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and other avenues. So please plan on attending. And then upcoming, I want to announce this before our next meeting in February, but we also have the Rodine Park Pickleball and Multi-Use Court Planning Meeting. That is February 6th at 5:30 p.m. at Muir Elementary, 410 East Dennett Avenue. So again, welcome the community to come out. Give us your input. Again, these are pickleball and multi-use courts that right now I think they have futsal and basketball incorporated into the multi-use. So please come out, give us your input, your thoughts on what these designs look like. And then finally, as Chair McCoy alluded to, we have Valentine's Day Senior Dance at Pinedale, and that'll be February 17th from 1 to 4. Participants are encouraged to wear red and pink, so we'll be excited to see all those folks out there and out on the dance floor. So thank you for that, Chair McCoy. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. I did also see something on social media in regards to the San Pablo Park mural design process or something like that. Am I correct about that? Is that this month or next month as well?
I will get back to you on that one. I'm not sure. That could be something different, but we'll follow back up.
Okay, thanks. We will now move on to unscheduled communication. Would any member of the public like to speak on any issue within the jurisdiction of this commission? You will have up to 3 minutes if you would like to make a comment regarding any of the scheduled hearings. Comments will be taken when each item is called.
There is no public comment.
Thank you. No one in attendance here, so we will move on to workshops. ID number 24-119, Workshop West Fresno Community Center's Planning Project Outreach Training and Toolkit. Will someone from the Parks Department please begin the presentation?
Good evening, Commission. Sarah Gaitan, Program Manager with the Parks Department. So, we've been hard at work with within our department and with our consultants to get some of this outreach material out to everybody for the West Fresno Community Centers project. And we wanted to equip all of our commissioners with a binder that has some helpful bullet points and just references for you all to have answers out in the community if you come across any of these questions. So I'm going to walk you all through your toolkit tonight. This is all just in reference to the outreach. If you all have any questions regarding the project itself, we could schedule some time with our capital projects team to come in and give you some more details. Or you could also attend our very first meeting on January 30th, where we will be explaining and walking through the entire project to the community. So when you open your binder, the first thing on your left-hand side is the flyer that is currently being used out in the community. It showcases the first meeting, which I mentioned is January 30th at 5:30 p.m. at the Maxiel Parks Gymnasium. In the back, you'll see that it is translated into 3 other languages. And then there's also a QR code that leads people to our designated microsite for this project. And they will be able to find more information there on the site also. And I only placed a few flyers in everybody's binder, but I do have more here in the front if anybody needs to take more. If you feel like you're going somewhere that you need to equip yourself with more flyers, we definitely have more of those. We also have this pocket guide that has lots of information, quick references. These are easy to hand out. We have tons of them also for you all to take. It goes through everything from short little history notes of each site. It also dives into Measure P a little bit, where the funding is coming from, and then it also shares a little bit about the vision that we have for this West Fresno project. There we go. Okay, so when you turn the first divider there, you will see the resident West Fresno planning project inquiry. This is just for you all to write down any questions that you might get out in the community that you didn't have an answer to. Those questions can be referred over to us, and we can provide you with the right tools so that you can answer those questions in the future. So if there's a question that has been reoccurring and you didn't have the answer to, you can definitely write it down, hand it over to us, and we can get you that information. On the second divider, we have some information here that was used to help our community members understand what this whole project is about. Oh, give me a second. Here we go. Okay, so it's called Moving Forward. It basically just describes the vision for the West Fresno project, and I'll read through these bullets a little bit. So the West Fresno Community Center's planning project will develop new visions for Frank H. Ball, Mariella Brown, Maxiel Parks, and Sunset Community Centers. Accessible, diverse, and equitable community programming impacts citizens' mental, social, and physical health. The City of Fresno aims to create spaces where community members feel comfortable gathering with family, friends, and neighbors to socialize, learn, and grow together. To ensure these centers meet community needs now and into the future, public input is essential to the success of this project. The updated community center's goals will be to encourage outdoor exploration, foster art and culture celebration, and become an anchor in which the community can rely on for quality programming and facilities. On the next page, we outlined a couple of the outreach resources that we will be using. So, like I mentioned, we have a dedicated microsite, which is imaginewfcc.org, where community members can go to find out more about this particular project. They can also call us, the Parks Department, at 559-621-7529. And we will also be hosting a series of community meetings, with our first one being on January 30th. There will be another 4 to follow, one at each site. We just have not determined those dates yet, but they will be soon. And there's also additional resources about the project available, including the pocket guide that I handed you all. There's also a video with Director Aguirre and Mayor and Councilmember Arias speaking on it. And then we also have tons of flyers, we have door hangers, we have it all. And you all are very familiar with our funding and background. So there's just some bullet points here that touch on Measure P and what the funding sources will be for this project. And then it also talks a little bit about the master plan and how we will be using it to guide how this project ends up. Included also, we gave you all a little bit of history about each one of the 4 centers that we will be highlighting throughout this project. Frank H. Ball was constructed in 1939. It's a national youth administration project. We just want to make sure that everybody understands that we also understand the history of each of these sites, and we want to maintain that for everybody. Sorry. Yes. The center is home to recreational swimming and community-centered events like Fresno Summer Nights that bring together Fresno residents from all walks of life. To deepen these opportunities for community engagement, the City of Fresno is reimagining this facility while honoring its historical significance. The Frank H. Ball Neighborhood Center will reflect the community's rich diversity, focusing on accessible amenities and inclusivity to serve all ages, all age ranges, cultures, and recreational needs. Next, we have Mariella Brown. This center was renamed in 2006 after a prominent community member. The Mariella Brown Community Center houses vital community services, including 7 buildings, a play structure, a pool area, a skate park, community garden, and basketball courts. Brown, known among the community as the Queen of West Fresno for her work with children in various community groups, established the computer homework room in the center, which was built in the early 1970s. Community input is vital to understanding how Mariella Brown Community Center can play a part in contributing to foster the developing neighborhood around it. And Maxiel Parks, where we will be having our first meeting, was named after Fresno City College Olympic gold medalist and track field Hall of Famer Maxiel Parks. The community center is a hub for public services and access to family resources, children's programming, an open gym, and educational courses and events. The center serves an essential service building in times of emergency. The remaining of the center will further enhance it as a heart of local activity where neighbors can learn, obtain resources, and socialize with family and friends. And last but certainly not least, we have Sunset, our tiny little Sunset. The Sunset Community Center is home to enriching youth programming and the Inside Out Community Garden, complete with drought-resistant and edible foliage. With the recent transition in programming to city staff, the City of Fresno will rely on community input to understand what activities or programming might be facilitated within the new design. And an enhanced Sunset Community Center advances public health and wellness for the surrounding neighbors like Sunset Elementary School. Next on the divider list, we just have a little printout here of the brochure, which you all have. And then last, we have the survey. So the survey is up on the microsite. So community members who go to the microsite can take this survey online, and we will be using it for input just in case they might not be able to attend any of the meetings. So we did leave this here for you all to understand what questions we have to ask of them. And also, if you want to refer anybody to the microsite to take the survey, you will know, warn them what the questions are. They're not hard. Besides that, the microsite was launched on the 5th of January, and the week of January 16th, we launched the video on our social media. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. We are also posting, besides our social media, we are also posting it on a new Nextdoor account that we have. So Nextdoor has been helpful with targeting certain zip codes. So we will be we actually posted it today. And again, first community meeting on the 30th. We will get back to you all with the remainder of those meetings. And that is it. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Does any member of the commission have any questions or comments regarding this item? You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Just help me understand real quick, if you would. Are all these buildings currently owned and operated by the city? Or these centers?
Yes, all 4 are owned by the City of Fresno and operated by City of Fresno staff. We have a long history here. At one point in time, we did have community-based organizations assisting us at these facilities, but now they are fully run and operated by City of Fresno park staff.
Great, okay, and then my follow-up to that was it on the community organizations, like, do they rent space to do their programming? They rent, do contract right with the city to utilize the spaces? Is that how that works? Or is it only city programming?
That's correct. So organizations, if they're interested in utilizing a facility, we have our reservation policy that they can go through. So some of these organizations will go through that and we'll help work with them. So I know at Maxie and Mariella Brown, the community-based organization who recently moved, has expressed interest in coming back and still utilizing those sites for their programs.
Is that the West Fresno Family Resource Center?
Yes.
Group? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with their programming, so, okay, thank you.
Does any other member of the commission have any questions or comments regarding this item?
I do, I'm sorry. I'm curious how these sites were selected.
They were determined off of the highest needs neighborhood definition that was created. So all 4 of them belong to one of the highest needs neighborhoods.
Follow-up question. The Hinton Center, is that owned by the city of Fresno?
No, the Hinton
Okay.
Center itself is privately owned. The park just to the north of it is a city-owned facility, but the actual center is privately owned.
Got it, thank you.
Commissioner Miller?
I just wanted to make a comment, thanking you for this. This is very helpful. I think we all get questions from the community members, and having the information at our fingertips like this is very helpful. And I just, as a side thing, I think this is genius.
Right?
Really very helpful.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm a visual learner myself, so to see everything like this, it helps see the bigger project.
So thank you for the wonderful presentation. I did have a couple of kind of remarks about the presentation, about some of the content. So when we are going to the community and asking them for input, sometimes it can be hard to think out of like the framing of what you know, right? So like I'm noticing like, so like for like Mariella Brown Community Center, like, or any of these really, like it's saying community input is vital to understanding how Mariella Brown community can play a part in continuing to foster the developing neighborhood around it. And then for Maxiel Park, it says the reimagining of the center will further enhance it as a heart of local activity where neighbors can learn, obtain resources, and socialize, blah, 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 etc. I think that sometimes like giving examples of what maybe other community centers have or other cities do can be helpful in like, especially when those in-person kind of workshops happen. And I'm sure you all already have this planned, but like giving like examples of what community centers can look like and what other cities have done, or can help like residents give their input of like, oh shoot, we didn't even think of that, we want this, right? And then my question to you is, how can we help? Because I know that, yeah, like what can we as commissioners do to help in this process for you all?
Well, to answer your first question, I understand what you're saying. Well, sometimes we don't think of things if it's not put in front of us. And this is not a presentation that is going out to the public. This is strictly in-house, so this was only seen by the Parks Department and you all. And it's just to help us when we interact with the community. So we do have a meeting at the end of this week with the consultants who are helping us prepare the presentation for January 30th. So I will bring up that point so that we can produce some examples for community members to understand. And your second question about how can you help? I think just, if whatever work you are doing out in the community, the flyers, handing out the flyers however you can. The pocket guides are really easy to carry, so if you run into anybody who is an advocate like you are and is willing to share the project with their community members, we just really want assistance in getting people to attend that January 30th meeting. I think that is going to be the most important meeting because it covers all sites, it introduces the project to everybody, and it gives history. So it's going to be the session that has the most information for everybody.
Question before you leave. Will this be implemented in other sites in South Fresno as well, like at Mosqueda Center or Romaine and Holmes, and bringing those sites together?
These 4 were identified through the highest need, so at this point, it'll just concentrate on the 4 in front of you here.
Okay, thanks. Until we revisit that definition, correct?
That's correct. I know it's not this topic, but this year we have to have that defined by December 30th of 2024. So we have plans to bring that forward starting early in the year. I know last time when we defined that, we were looking at June, July, August is when we started. It's a big task, so we're going to start early, so you all will be heavily engaged in making sure we get that new definition identified.
Thank you. Also, with that presentation, I know this is off task, sorry, but will we receive information on what has been done from the current definition that's in place right now in the parks, just to recap?
Yeah, and I think what we can do, the current definition, and even the definition that we inherited when Measure P was first stood up, we'll be able to talk to both of those definitions whenever that workshop or whenever that meeting calls for it.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
got
you have the
another
floor.
one. Thank you. For the outreach piece, it says for the first quarter. So I was just curious if you could articulate how important getting feedback in that first quarter is, because I understand timelines, you want to move them along, but sometimes outreach doesn't always meet those timelines. So I wanted to hear a little bit more about what those pressures look like for you guys, so that I understand a little bit more how much community input that you need, like right now.
Yeah. So the capital projects team has goals that they have set for themselves. I'm not privy to that yet. But I know that like with the senior center, if, we're approaching our deadline and we haven't met that goal yet, then we all come together and we either have more meetings or think of new ways to get to that goal. So even though we are approaching the end of our quarter or whatever our timeline is, if we are not to our goal yet, we will bring out other resources that we can think of to definitely meet that goal. So we try to meet the timeline as much as possible, but the goal is what's important.
What the goal would be,
so like
a certain amount of residents engaged?
Yes. So for like instance, the Senior Activity Center, there was a goal of meeting, I believe it was like 2,000 surveys, and then having a certain amount of visitors on the website. So those are the goals that they set for themselves. So regardless of the timeline, if we are approaching that deadline and that goal has not been met yet, then we do implement other sources of outreach.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And real quick, just to stress the importance of this this plan going forward, we are moving, and it is pretty aggressive timeline. So as Sarah mentioned, we do have a meeting on the 30th, and then beyond that, after that meeting, we have that listening session. We're going to get all the information we can gather, and then tentatively right now, April of 2024, we would come back with 4 kind of schematics for those community centers. Site assessment findings, and then a preliminary kind of master plan for those. And then come back June, we would then further refine those based on additional comments that we would receive. And then August of 2024, we would have the final community meeting, where then we would present those schematics, concepts, timelines, budgets, and so forth. And then ultimately, November, we would finalize that. So kind of, you can see how quickly that's moving.
Yeah, that is really fast. Good luck. I'll do what I can to inform people I know that might want to be involved. So.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sarah.
Have a good night.
You too.
And don't forget, we have more collateral here for you all.
Thank you. We will now move on to hearings. ID number 24-50, hearing to receive public input on allocations related to Measure P, updates to the Parks Master Plan and Cultural Arts Plan, and annual Parks Department budget and capital improvement plans. Would any member of the public like to provide a comment regarding this item? You will have up to 3 minutes for comment.
We have Lisa Flores online.
Hi, Lisa, you will have 3 minutes.
Hi, Kimberly. Can you hear me? Because I'm on my cell phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My big concern is no matter what you fund in Measure P, there needs to be a mechanism through a checklist and follow-up. When you fully fund a project and the project comes online to the public, it needs to be 100% finished. If not 100% finished, 95 to 97% finished, but there needs to be follow-through on the last items that aren't completed on a project. Once again, the Puppy Love Dog Park over at Roding, we're still getting complaints that the water still isn't working. It's never been turned on, and I'm not getting any feedback from when is it going to be finally fixed. Because the only number one reason why the fountains aren't on is because they have to adjust the sprinklers to where they don't hit the water fountain because of the sensors. And it's been 4 months, guys, and that's embarrassing. That's all. I just want to make sure that you guys have, a checklist and follow through. And if something isn't completed on one of these projects, who do we call? Who is responsible for the follow through? And also, too, any sort of money that you put for community engagement and outreach, there should also be a component where you have the city go out and knock on people's doors, door to door, like the senior center. I occasionally get an email about it, but the meetings are in the evening when I can't see at night to drive because of my bad eye. Or it's just too damn cold to be out there. So, you have to meet people where they're at. And also, too, when they talk about 2,000 responses, based on a population base of what? Because any good surveys should be about 10 to 20% return of the population that you're focusing on. So what is the population base that they're looking at? And with that, I wish you all a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else?
There are no more speakers.
Thank you, and we have no one in the chambers. I will now close public comment. Does any member of the commission have any questions or comments regarding this item? You will have 3 minutes. No, I'm just playing. No? All right. Well, I will adjourn the meeting, and one of our commissioners that I miss deeply, and I'm quite sure we all do, Dr. Francina Puda. This meeting is adjourned at 6:14 p.m. Good night. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening with your families.